Hello, Croeso and Shomai. This is Bachgen Business Boy here, and today's topic is a project management tool called a Gantt chart. To keep things really simple, we're going to discuss using the Gantt chart in the context of gardening. Specifically, planting vegetables. This is the vegetable patch, and these are the edges, and this is the surrounding area. We'll get to that in another video. The Gantt chart is a tool used to get a comprehensive overview of a project in terms of resource and time management. On the left, we have tasks, and then we have columns with information. Not all Gantt charts are the same. The type of resources displayed on the Gantt chart can vary from project to project. For example, if our vegetable patch were thousands of square feet in size and we had some machinery, we could include a machinery column to understand when the machinery could be available for other gardeners to use. If you need to know whether purchasing more equipment is necessary, the Gantt chart can help support that decision. In this example, we have columns for tasks, who is responsible, cost, completion date, dependencies, milestones, and red, amber, and green (RAG) statuses. On the right side, we have months and bars indicating task durations. Now, let's look at the choice of columns. We named one column Who. Here we see two people, Gardener A and Gardener B. Is this column useful for anyone other than Gardener A and B? Absolutely. Within an organization, this column helps you see who is responsible for which tasks. By looking at the Gantt chart, we can determine when each gardener has tasks, identify busy periods, and assess high-risk areas if a gardener is unable to work. Within an organization, you might use department names instead of employee names or IDs. This way, each department can organize its workforce accordingly. We'll discuss cost a little later. For now, note that we have cost information for the task of making purchases. This doesn't give us a comprehensive overview of costs, but we haven't included labor costs because this project is a hobby. Completion dates in this Gantt chart are based on estimates of how long a task can remain incomplete. Dependencies show us which tasks need to be completed before another task can begin. For example, we can't harvest vegetables until they have been planted. Milestones can help us understand key points in the project. Lastly, we have the RAG column to label task urgency. Different factors contribute to this, such as dependencies, but the main factor is knowledge. This can help us analyze when a project has breathing room, though it may not be entirely relevant to this project. Before we go any further, let me tell you, I hate this Gantt chart. If I were planting vegetables, I'd be scared to follow this. So let's see what we can do. Breaking up the tasks. We realize we need to remove weeds many times, so we highlight that with a different color. If we remove weeds every weekend, that should be practical, right? But we've only included a few weed removal tasks, and now the Gantt chart task column is looking cluttered, as is the right-hand side. Instead, let's try grouping tasks. We consolidated many tasks into maintain patch, which includes watering plants, removing weeds, and edge maintenance. It's easier to read the Gantt chart now. This isn't necessarily right or wrong, it's simply an approach. Maintaining the vegetable patch is something I know needs to be done from experience. If I didn't include it and someone asked me to do something else one Saturday morning, I might say yes, as long as I have time for record keeping, and then neglect essential tasks like watering plants and removing weeds. This could lead to serious issues, such as losing vegetables or facing a larger weeding task the following weekend. Let's look at how a different project might use a Gantt chart. In this example, we'll use a broad software development cycle. We research, design, implement, test, and launch features on a weekly basis, making the Gantt chart look intimidating but illustrating how a project can be managed. The bottom example shows that zooming into fortnightly work doesn't look as daunting. If these Gantt charts fill you with dread, consider a couple of things. Firstly, my Gantt charts might be terrible. Secondly, Gantt charts are only a tool to communicate cost, budget, labor, allocation, and timelines. There are many other tools you can use, which we'll discuss on a later date. For now, remember that a Gantt chart is a tool you can customize to suit your needs. Here I show simplified development cycles of our development phases at Bachgen Business Boy. Now, let's get to the meaty part of the video. Knowledge, experience, and expertise. The more you know about something, the better you can design a Gantt chart. Holistically understanding a problem allows us to communicate effectively with the Gantt chart and determine our audience. In this example, the Gantt chart is likely going to be shown to a key stakeholder who can influence the project. Let's say the vegetable patch owner has more influence because they are funding the project and have recipes that require the vegetables. Highlighting the Gantt chart to convey this information to gardener A and B helps them communicate with the owner. A bit like the software development cycle earlier, we can break things down further. We group tasks to create smaller Gantt charts. For example, we use initiate projects to group vegetables. In the vegetable Gantt chart, we have the cost of each vegetable to plant. We had estimated £100 for the cost when we knew less about prices, but now we know we have money left over. This is useful because maintenance costs are unknown due to poor past documentation and lack of research. But, Bachgen Business Boy, I hear you ask, I still don't believe you. This seems far too convoluted for growing vegetables in the garden. All this time documenting Gantt charts when the seeds themselves have instructions. Isn't this just corporate nonsense? Couldn't this just be a to-do list, a weekend hobby, or barely maintained at all? And you'd be correct. But if we scale this up, increasing the size of the vegetable patch, the number of gardeners, employees needing wages, water costs, and other variables, it might be better to have a Gantt chart. These Gantt charts could be distributed to managers of sections, who then translate them into schedules and rotas. This way, everyone is on the same page, and managers can communicate issues to upper management. So, have I wasted time creating the Gantt charts? No, because we can still use them. Maybe we print them off and laminate them to place them next to their respective vegetables, or we translate this information onto a calendar to hang on the back door, marking tasks like removing weeds on Saturdays and watering vegetables every 3 days if it's not raining. But before we go, let's review other things to consider on the Gantt chart. Task start date, task end date, responsibility, accountability, departments, wages, labour costs, priority, milestones, RAG status, notes, duration, days, weeks, months, progress, usually as a percentage, task number/ID, number of people involved, and the purpose of a task. You may have noticed I mentioned progress as a percentage. Gantt charts can be updated, they don't have to be static. Some Gantt charts are used to communicate tasks at the start of a project, while others evolve to reflect current progress and identify strong and weak points in the project's timeline. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found the video interesting, please like and subscribe. If you need software development services or business tech solutions, please get in touch with us at contact@bachgenbusinessboy.com.